And as a demonstration of a progress and evolution of human-computer interaction, I would like to take a look at the next slide, where you will see a mobile phone that was created by one of the famous corporation of past, the Nokia. This mobile phone was very popular at the day it was used, but now we don't even know a name of such a corporation like Nokia, because they lost their market. And the reason they lost their market is just they have lost this trend of transformation of people needs and the technology progress. Let's take a look at this device. This device is perfect from all of the sides and from all of the points of view. The quality, the grade, the battery life could last almost 7 days. But at that time, it was not sufficient for the people. People required more. The technology progress brought us wireless connection, the data transfer. We required more instruments to do our work. At that time, people hold with them a photo camera, a video recorder, a mobile phone, and many other tools and devices that they hold in different pockets. And corporations like Microsoft and Apple, they had a vision. Bill Gates, as a visionary, proposed to create a pocket PC, a personal computer that can be held in the pocket, that can hold all of the necessary information to keep you in time, to keep you informed, to keep you connected to your work from any point in the world. And the next slide demonstrates the device. So they replaced the mechanical buttons that replace it on the Nokia mobile phone with a white display, white colored display that made it possible to keep the information, notes, to make calculations, to record videos, to make photos, to work with the documents and even connect to internet from this mobile intellectual device. And they call it as a smartphone. But there were a little problem with this device. You actually had to use both of your hands to keep your work with this device by operating with the stylus. Because at that time, they could not find a way to make a precise commands for such a small device. Another problem is that Microsoft have not considered that the desktop environment and desktop design is not quite suitable for a handheld device. And actually, their devices still had too many buttons, too many physical buttons that presented on them. And the next step was made by Steve Jobs, by a proposition of his mobile phone, and he named it as an iPhone with only one button to operate with all the operation system within this mobile phone. And another advantage of this mobile phone was that you could operate with this mobile phone by your fingers instead of stylus. It was the cooperation of a technology progress, the capacitive display, the hardware that could work at tremendous speed, and the special software that was specially designed and crafted to understand your initial movements and initial commands that were made by your fingers that are not narrowed enough like a stylus, but still you were very accurate by selecting icons and typing messages on a small keyboard of the device. And that was a revolution that helped Apple to dominate on the market of smartphones. The reason of this domination is that this particular company understood the meaningful of the field of the study of human-computer interaction. They reconsidered how people can operate with a computing machine, and that is not very difficult to create such a design, self-explanatory design, that will not require additional references or books to study how to work with one or another software or a hardware. So they have started the era of devices and applications without references that accompanied such software. Because before them, even Microsoft Office produced a lot of books and references to help people to understand such a simple application as a word processor to make their work more productive. Now, when you buy one or another device, when you download application, you have this help information within this device or within this application. And even this application that you download from nowadays have an intuitive design that help you to understand the meaning of each particular element within this application and use it within a short period of time with no constraints. And I would like to show you one of the examples of a design of previous that was used without a consideration of human interaction. Of course, if we will take a look at this panel, the automobile panel, we understand that this panel was created at the time where the automobile was just created and spread through the market. And the more important was that it can transfer you from one place to another. But taking a consideration of information that it provided for a driver, we see that here that it is very difficult to understand or distinguish the information that is shown on the left side of this panel and the right. So yes, here we can speak about a bad design, bad initial design of interaction between a technology and a human. And it is up to you to find a better solution for this particular car display. Take a look at the modern automobiles and find the difference. And now, let's take a look at the bigger picture of human-computer interaction layout. So here on this slide, you see at the left side that actually the interaction happens between the human brain, the central processor unit of a human, and a hardware central processor unit that is provided by a computer. And we have a directions of data flow between us and computer. We have sensors like eyes, like ears, and even our arms that can perceive the information from, for example, game pods. We perceive the information from displays by our eyes, and we hear the music and sound that can be accompanied by the imagery that we see. And actually, how can we interact with the hardware? The typical way for nowadays is using our hand, our voice. We can use now our gestures. We can use keyboards, mouse, and joysticks to manipulate a computer. We can even use our voice to command a robot to make work that we command them to do. And actually it happens by a help of a tight liaison between a hardware and a special software that keeps all these elements in data flow all together. The special hardware that can accept the information from you, the special software that can process this specific information and make a particular decision according to the information that is provided by a human. And this cycle actually is crucial for the performance that we are aimed to obtain from the human and computer interaction. And we are those people who can create improvements, even very small improvements, that can bring a huge and tremendous impact of the effectiveness and efficiency of the business processes within our work, within our research area, within our scientific endeavors.